When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves.
Alun, welcome. Thank you for allowing us to spend the day with you in your real estate world.
Thank you.
We had a few questions for you.
Absolutely.
So the first thing I wanted to know is, what made you choose real estate or go into the real estate space?
Yeah, I chose real estate because it was a profession that I saw it didn't matter your prior education or an Ivy League degree or what your parents did, and it had a very even playing field, and I saw how the most successful ones are the ones who just hustle the most, and it could be someone who may not have even spoken the English language and got here not that long ago, and they hustle the right way, and that's what really inspired me to join.
Lovely. So I know your story is a little bit unique in the sense that you actually started in the music space.
Correct.
So can you give us a little bit about that background?
Yeah, absolutely. I have engineering and some producing background. I was managing these high-end recording studios around the city and booking sessions for major label artists and producers, and it was a lot of fun and good experience.
The real New York kind of vibe.
Absolutely.
Okay. I know that your studio was mostly uptown, right?
Yes.
So is that how you sort of started with real estate in the uptown?
Yeah, absolutely. I grew up uptown, and my mother still lives in Harlem, so just the area that's most familiar for me. And also, wanted to cover areas that I knew not a lot of people were working. It wasn't that real estate wasn't getting done uptown when I joined. It definitely was, but it wasn't as attractive as Midtown, Soho, Tribeca, and all of that. Yeah.
Really? And can you give us an idea of what sort of motivates you, or?
Yeah, really just my family, my future, all my goals of wanting to, make sure I have all the things I want and need, a house, and, my mother's my biggest inspiration. She's an immigrant, single mother, and, I saw what she's done for me and my brother, and that's been a big motivation for me.
Lovely. So now that you are in Wall Street,
yes.
How is that sort of dynamic changed for you in terms of what could you say is the biggest difference or the biggest change?
The biggest difference when I come down here, I feel like I'm one of the few people that's actually from New York, right?
Oh, okay.
I feel like you have everyone from the world, wanting to or working down here, touring down here. This is an area I never really discovered as a teenager, as a kid growing up in New York. So this is all new to me. These blocks, these restaurants, this is stuff I never really explored up until now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And I know that you recently have a new position in your real estate. You've transitioned from just being the regular agent. Now you're in a more managerial space. Can you tell us a little bit about what that's been like?
Absolutely. It's been great. About 5 months ago, I took on a manager position with Platinum Properties. I have a team of 20 or so agents.
Lovely.
And we're growing that to 45 agents by the end of the year. and we cover all residential business, working a lot with buyers.
Lovely.
Yeah.
And I know that you have a little bit of a niche when it comes to predicting the market. Is there anything you want to tell us that you predict maybe for this year?
That agents, if there's anyone that can't predict the market, it's agent themselves, right?
Yeah.
I think it's just important to pay attention to the stock market when you think about real estate, and interest rates when you try and predict where the housing market is going. So those are the important things I think to pay attention to.
Lovely. So I know that you work with a lot of new agents in the position that you in.
Yes.
So what would you say to an agent or someone that is trying to pursue this career and has absolutely no idea what they're doing? What advice would you give them?
I think an advice I generally give these new agents is that a no is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
When someone tells you, no, I don't want to see that, it's a good thing. It's a good thing that they're communicating with you, that they're not going around with another agent, they're still responding to you. A no, meaning that, a failed deal or no, you can't list my property, right? Gets you closer to that yes, to that closed deal. So I think the no's and the failures along the way are always just getting you much closer to that yes and that closed deal.
Lovely. I know that you've been in the business now for a few years.
Yes.
Any interesting, crazy stories you want to share with us?
I definitely have a few. I think one that comes to mind happened in Brooklyn a couple years ago.
Okay.
I was working as an exclusive listing agent for a big developer, and we had this building in Brooklyn where it was a mix of renters that had been there and new development condo units that I was to sell and show. We had about 18 units, 2 of them were staged, some going for over $1 million.
Wow.
It was our launch day on a Sunday, probably expecting anywhere from 50 to 70 people to show up. And about 10 minutes before starting, after everything, all the lights are turned on, all the doors are opened, all the signs are up, I'm going through these big hallways and staircases that people are going to walk through to tour through each unit. And there's a group of about 7-8 guys with a couple triple beam scales, huge Ziploc bags, and just a mountain of marijuana that they were weighing out and bagging up. And I had to be the one that tells them, hey, I don't personally have a problem with what you're doing, but there's going to be a lot of people coming in soon who are going to be seeing this. So I would recommend maybe you take that somewhere else.
And they were fine with it?
And they were okay. There were definitely other stories that happened later on in my experience in that building. They ended up having to put some cameras up, and that seemed to help the situation a bit.
Nice. Wow. Thankfully, we can say Brooklyn has changed a lot since that time. So.
I think there are some good parts, definitely.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Absolutely.
And can you tell us how to find you?
How to find me? I'm on Instagram as New York Bricks, just real estate related, that name, and that's where I have my social media.
Okay. Are you still doing any music? Anything that we can? Are you coming up with your rap CD?
No rap CD, not much music. I'm just a fan for now.
Okay.
That's about it.
Lovely. Well, this was Alun. Thank you so much for being here and allowing us to follow you for the day.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Ciao.
To embark on the journey towards your goals and dreams requires bravery. To remain on that path requires courage. The bridge that merges the two is commitment.